We forgot how to podcast. Like, oh, fuck. Season 2. Totally fucked.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
We got some new microphones and we don't have to hold them no more. So we don't know what to do with our hands.
I've got so much time.
It's very distracting. It's like I don't know what to talk about because I have these 2 moving limbs.
I'm going to be able to talk for the first time in 13 episodes. Wait, what episode are we on? In 15 episodes.
Nick can now be Irish.
I can now fucking talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, your host, Queen Herby. What? I guess we're both hosts at this point.
Are we? Did I get a
raise? I think you just got a raise. Like everybody, you get a raise. You get a raise. You get a raise. Anybody who's listening, we've decided that you're getting a raise too. And this is what we're going to talk about on this podcast because we are your space, your safe space for self-discovery, for bad bitchery. Mm-hmm. We are just obsessed with becoming better human beings and living a life that is more pleasurable and wonderful because we're both Tauruses. Did you know this about me and Nick? 2 motherfucking Tauruses making art.
Raging bull.
2 stubborn ass motherfuckers.
Okay, but I do. Can we time out? You are way more stubborn than I am.
Okay.
Is that?
I think we should put it to a vote. Who thinks?
Where did I get this napkin? I'm just noticing I have this napkin in my hand, and I'm like, what am I doing with it?
Tell us you're old without telling us.
It felt like a handkerchief. It felt like I was 95 and
really
was like,
are.
There comes the southern accent.
He already knows what to do with it.
I was just like a sweat rag, just fucking sitting in my little pouch.
That is really special.
My little mitt pouch.
It's okay that you found this in your pocket, and you're welcome to wipe your nose during this show.
Thank you. Well, I feel validated now by I was also sick this past week.
Okay, don't touch anyone.
For the first time in, I guess a year. Not
a
that
while.
long.
Yeah, we both got taken down last week by a stomach bug.
Fucking wiped out.
Shout out to everybody out there who's been sick this year. Fucking sucks. I forgot.
Just found out.
I was kind of a champ though.
Great.
I haven't been sick for like years actually.
You you haven't got COVID. You're one of the 14 people.
Right.
That never got it, or at least never got sick from it.
Right.
You may have had it, but we're just
super
asymptomatic
strange.
Or something.
And this was definitely not COVID. It was like gone in 24 hours.
Yep.
And I just remember like during being sick, I was like, wow, this is really horrible. But if you're really conscious, and I started practicing all this woo-woo shit, like being present and breathing, and I was kind of impressed with myself.
Oh, yeah?
It was like, wait, I have a choice. While you're sick, it still sucks. But you have a choice of like observing it versus being in it, which is actually unbearable.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait, this is probably the best option is to just like observe me. I had a lot of compassion for my body when I was sick too, which was kind of astonishing. Mm-hmm. Like, holy shit, I really care about Amy. Yeah. Like I care about her. I want her to be okay.
It's the only Amy you got right now.
It's the only one I got. And you know, I knew what my body needed. Like I would try to intuitively, because we had this other episode about intuition. I was intuitively listening to say, hey body, what do you need right now? Like if I would puke or something, and you finish and you feel so much better, right? After you puke, but it's like you only have a window of like 30 or 40 minutes until you have to probably go again. So you're like, okay, I'm going to put on my socks because my feet were a little cold. I'm starting to get like a little feverish. So I want to get like a couple extra blankets. And okay, well, I'm here, I'm brushing my teeth because like gross, right? And then you're like, okay, let me fill up my waters. Let me get the Pedialyte. You got to hydrate, like all these things. And I found myself doing it so strategic. Like when you're sick, no one talks about this.
Yeah.
What's going through your head?
Well, you have very little time.
Yes.
Before you might have to. Yeah. So I had a little bit of the pukies, but mostly more of the opposite, more of the other thing.
Right.
And it was, oh God, you're just fucking wiped out.
I was worried about you at one point because I was like, damn, I think I gave this to you or something. We don't know if it was food poisoning or what it was.
It kind of felt like it.
I Googled like 100 different viruses, you guys.
According to the internet, I'm dead.
Right. Definitely not COVID though. So shout out to anybody that has been sick. I heard the flu, all these different things have been going around crazy this year.
Yeah. A lot of people that I heard, oh God, it's starting already. The hands.
You can't touch your ear.
I love touching my ear. One of the big things.
Get new microphones, they said.
All right, that's it. Give me a headset. Can we do headsets?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, we should definitely do the podcast in headsets. That's so funny.
I gotta return these.
It turns into like
We're
a motivational, like Tony Robbins thing.
Oh my God, we should totally.
Listen, if you don't call right now.
Just strung out. Strung out on headsets.
Just like racking off push-ups down in my time. All right, go, do it.
Move.
But the thing about being present while sick, did you notice when you were doing that you felt less sick?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a thing.
That's
Steve
really,
Jobs
I mean, you
talk
still
about it?
feel sick. I would say it was like a 20% reduction though.
So this is apparently this is what Eckhart talks about. This is what all these people, I think Steve Jobs tried it, and he also felt like he could, I think if I'm not completely fucking this up, I think he felt like he could beat any illness that he had because he was able to just focus so intensely and be able to be present and like just clear his body of it pretty much.
Interesting.
Yeah. But it didn't
necessarily
work out that way.
Ultimately, yeah.
But
like
there's a whole other things
though.
that it could have been. Yeah, well, he just beat the fucking shit out of himself to the point where his energy was already gone.
Yeah.
I
do think that's a really good thought, actually. So even if you're sick and you're like, I'm present and I'm conscious and I'm going to beat this thing, your body is still beat to fuck. So you do have to like actually do nothing for a while too. I think it's important to like...
To rest?
Yeah, I'm just realizing, maybe because I'm getting older too, but I'm realizing the importance of rest and how a lot, like my initial thought every time I try to take a day off or rest is like, you should be doing something. You can't do this. You should be doing something. Like, what is that?
Dude, no, that is totally,
you have to restore your supply.
You have to.
I think about like why my aura cleanses do well on Instagram, for example. And it still kind of like baffles me. And then I remember that this is bigger than me, that people don't even take 60 seconds in a day to breathe.
I know.
It's that fucking simple.
I know. And it happens so fast, dude, with phones and shit, social media, everything that we have going on, it happens so fast and it takes you, you immediately forget.
It just went too far. Like I'm the biggest fan of the internet and of social media, and the way that we connect with each other is so essential now. Things are changing quickly because of this, I believe. Yeah. But damn, we humans always gorge themselves, right? Like we couldn't just have McDonald's. It had to be like supersize, all this, like just goes and goes until we're like, wait, everyone's dying. Yeah. Wait, everybody's dead. And then we got to dial it back.
Yeah. Then we got to dial it back. Humans learn retroactively. So we're never trying to figure something out.
We don't consider it prior.
No, why would we?
Coca-Cola wasn't like, we'll just,
maybe we don't put cocaine in it.
Well, that they did get away. So to them, that was their correction.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So
they just started
sugar.
Like, I don't know. Well, people love sugar. And what else do people like?
Oh my God.
Cocaine. Yeah. Well, what if we made a drink that had both in it? Give me a break.
I know. I looked into this a while ago because we did like a partnership. I don't think with Coke, but it was with some big company like that. And I always look to see if there is like at least a department in the company that's trying to make these changes. Because when you get to be the size of Coca-Cola, like how do you even change then? There's like millions of people that depend on you for like a livelihood.
Oh, dude, not only
so you can't just get rid of Coca-Cola and sugar. Like
I think it's also is it like the biggest brand in the world? I think it might be one of the biggest. I think it might be the biggest brand in the planet.
And it's like, but there's people like developing diabetes or like people that abuse sugar that don't have like it's an addictive substance. So it's like, damn, I wish there were. Yeah, humans, man. We just go too far.
Yeah, we just go too far.
But when you have something like that and people on the inside that give a fuck, I do believe it can change. It takes a while though.
It can change. I think the world, listen, we keep fucking talking about this. The world has changed and we are seeing very intense results from it like right now. Social trends have changed. App usage has changed. It feels like the end of the pandemic officially, right? As far as the way that we are acting.
Inflation is like stopped or something or slowed down.
It's slowed down, yeah. It's still crazy. But
that was like really like ripping the Band-Aid off, I think, for everybody financially. I was like, what? This is insane.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if that's ever happened in our adult lives yet. Mm-hmm. Right.
So we've had so many things like for our generation, 2008, like usually you have one huge financial meltdown, I think, per generation. Right. We've already had like two.
We're 1986 babies. I know a lot of you out there are younger than us too. So we've already
had two. So it's like
you'll make it.
Whoops.
Yeah. If you're worried, like really the kids that are under us who didn't experience that, you're going to be okay. Everything does work out.
Everything
the
does
doom and
work
gloom
out.
can chill.
The doom and gloom can totally fucking chill. Let's rest.
Yeah.
Let's rest on the doom and gloom.
Please. Like we have a choice also, even if it is actual doom and gloom. How do you look at it? Perspective.
I feel so much better now.
Good.
Now we don't need the doom and gloom.
I know.
Isn't that nice?
Wow. I just feel like your voice got higher. It's impressive. I was watching an Eckhart Tolle meditation last night, and he was explaining like how to put space around things. Cause I was like, how do you actually become present? Right. So we're talking about being sick, all these different things. Like if being present improves your life by 20% or more, how do you actually become present? What does that even look? Can you explain that?
You want me to explain?
Can anyone explain
Okay, dude.
it?
So what we got here is we got fucking.
Oh no.
Why does everybody say "oh no" when I start talking? Well, yeah. Well, let me tell you.
We're like, all right, on this podcast today, we're going to tell you the meaning of life
in a Maine accent. Here comes the handkerchief. She's back.
Oh no! See what?
So
Are you having a nasal drip?
No,
I'm just checking
now
on
it's
you.
just part of.
Now
it's
you just like
part
the
of my
feel.
thing.
I don't think you're gonna like how that looks on camera. I know you're not as like you don't care as much.
I release the napkin.
Okay.
Okay. So
being present.
What did you ask?
How do you become present? Did you just do it?
Yeah.
Nice.
So being
so
present,
it's fast. That's the first thing.
It can be, or it can take a while. So you just slow down. I think for me, it's observing. It's observing what Eckhart would call the life situation. So it's observing you as you are right now. So that's the entity that is us that's going to pass, beyond us to the next realm. And then there's you, who's the body.
Physical Nick.
Yeah, physical Nick. And you're just observing.
Because you keep looking at those who are listening, like he's looking at his hands. So you're using like your senses. You're like, see, what do I see? What do I smell?
I'm observing that I'm in a body.
Okay.
And what that feels like, and what thoughts I'm having, and what emotions I'm having, and all of a sudden everything becomes very clear. Or you just become. Time, I guess, kind of becomes less important. You're still. You're very still.
So it's not that easy to explain how to become present. That's really something we can acknowledge, right? So this is something, I think the reason we can't communicate about it is because it is the secret. Mm-hmm. I think that's why the universe or God, source designed it this way, is because they were like, yo, this is bliss. This is heaven, right? This is what a lot of people say the Bible was like misconstrued over time in saying, no, literally just becoming conscious.
It is a feeling that when you do know how to communicate, and this will become with practice, like we are not enlightened beings at this point.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean? Or, we are, but we still haven't fully experienced it, I guess,
and
is what you would say.
And it depends who you're comparing it to, because also the scale of consciousness goes to 1,000 as far as we know. I'm sure like the rest of the universe, it's probably infinite.
So totally. And a lot of people on that Hawkins scale or whatever, he does call enlightenment peace, so which is 600.
Right.
So 600 and up.
So you did say stillness. So for me, that meditation Eckhart was doing, he was like, when you walk into a room, instead of just boom, bringing your energy into the room, like here I am, like put space around yourself. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wait, put space around it? And he's like, yeah, and put space around like every thought that comes into your brain. Because meditating is hard too. Meditation's like so confusing, hard to explain. Mm-hmm. If a thought comes up, rather than being fully in it, like, I'm going to say like just like, tits out, like I'm here, like put some space around the tits and be like, oh, there they are, and you're observing them. It gives you enough room to observe it.
I'll observe the tits,
right? And then you're like, so that was the most helpful explanation that I've had this month, and my understanding of all of this stuff continues to grow every week. That's why we're doing this.
I just finished a book called Loving What Is by Byron Katie.
Yes.
And she was saying how She has this whole, actually, if anybody's struggling with overthinking or stress or pretty much anything related to thinking,
impossible
which is
situations,
all negativity at all, she has this book called Loving What Is, and she gives you an actual like workshop, like worksheet on how to do how to break your problems down pretty much.
Break your problems down in like 4 questions.
In like these 4 questions, and then there's a couple like variations on the questions and all this shit. But it's fascinating because she pretty much is like, she's another one of these people that had developed a miserable life over time and just like hated herself. Her family kicked her out, and she was like pretty much kicked out of a halfway house, like living in the attic because no one wanted to fucking deal with her. And she woke up one morning, was like, holy shit, I get it. And just started like healing people, and people just started coming over to the house, and she started giving them advice.
We love a random awakening.
Yeah, that's what it was. And so she's been doing this. That was 1986.
Yeah.
Which ironically is also the year that David Hawkins said we switched from a below 200 to above 200
right,
vibration.
So below integrity to above integrity.
Yeah, was 86.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So then, so you have this whole worksheet. And so one of the big things that she talks about is like, reality is not your enemy. It's just your thoughts about it. It's just your thinking. Why, when we have a thought that comes up, why do we immediately believe it?
Immediately.
Every single time. As soon as
we
have
never
a thought,
question our own
you
thoughts.
You never question your own and that's what she says. She literally is just like, is it true? And you're like, oh, God damn it.
Is it true? Yes. Yeah. And you really have to search deep for that one.
Well, you have to be honest.
That's the
yourself.
hardest one. You have to be honest with yourself.
You just have to be honest with yourself. But, you know, the follow up is, can you absolutely know that it's true for that reason?
Right.
Because then you're like, oh, fuck.
But
so anyway,
you know, your intuition
whole,
will tell you if it's true or not.
Yeah. And you have to be, how you'll know that you're not ready to do it is that you're not being honest about it.
Right.
When you are being honest about it is when you are ready to not feel like shit enough anymore and actually change, or like be willing to try things to change.
Yeah.
But her point is like, dude, why do we have these thoughts? And you just immediately are like, yep, that's it. That's the truth. And don't question.
And then you wonder why you end up in an anxiety spiral.
Totally. Your
thoughts are going like unmonitored
completely
and unobserved.
Unmonitored. And
that's what unconsciousness is. So we just described unconsciousness.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's when you let that thinking just go unchecked.
Right.
Because it's never going to stop.
And nobody's going to help you.
No.
Except for you. It's so hard to describe.
Yeah.
But that's what it is.
Yeah. It is. This is a wonderful, this is a wonderful thing. And you and I always end up like yelling shit at each other when we have a martini at night.
Oh yeah, it's the best. The martinis at night are some of my favorite moments with you. Yeah. So those of you who have like a roommate or a spouse or like a best friend or something that you spend a lot of time with, and you have these kind of conversations. Mm-hmm. Isn't it nice to have a group of people to have these conversations with?
Just you and me having this conversation right now.
I just can't imagine. Shut up. There is people in our community.
I know, but they're just watching.
We
They're
love
listening.
them. We love them very much.
Of course we love them, but they're not really talking to us right now.
But they give a fuck about this stuff.
They do. And more and more and more and more and more people are giving a fuck about this shit because they're done
cool.
because they're done feeling like shit.
Yeah.
You come here when you're done feeling like a piece of shit.
Yes, come here when you're done. Hey, that's our tagline.
Come here when you're done feeling like a fucking piece of shit.
That's like the most real way that you could lead people to like a spiritual approach.
Yeah.
Because you're like, are you done?
Are you done?
The fuck?
And to be honest with you, it's okay if you're not done.
It's okay if you're not done.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's such a spiritual thing.
I can't reach. Oh. Because I still, like, when you started going down this, I was like, dude, all right.
When did this happen? Why does this happen? Have you ever had a friend who got really spiritual and you just lost touch with them? That's happened to like me, and some of my friends have gone like off. There were people in the music industry that like ended up just going off and meditating on a mountaintop for like 5 years. I never saw them again.
Did they come back?
No. No, I think some did.
One
and then
did.
some sort of like do the human thing where they just fucking overdid it and then they had to come back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I when I was getting into spiritual shit, I was also kind of like worried. But after being raised in conservative Christian house, I was like thirsty as fuck too. So I was like, I don't care. I'm going to do all the things. Yeah. It is.
What is worse in Nebraska? Drugs or what is it called? Non-secular spirituality.
Oh, drugs or like
spirituality.
Studying Buddhism.
Yeah. Or being woo-woo.
Oh, they're about equal. Would you say, is that accurate?
I'd agree to that. Yeah.
Alex and I are the council of
we have
Midwesterners.
another Midwest vote.
I'd like to thank the House of Herby Council of Midwesterners
Yes,
also that are
thank
listening.
you for having me.
Thank you
for
so
Well
much.
happy to be
represented.
here.
Well represented.
We feel very seen and we love
also,
you.
okay, so you say we're going to talk about the music. Definitely going to talk about the music because this is us talking about the music. We got music.
Hey guys, it's your favorite Queen Herby and Jedi Nick coming back to you with another
Coming back online.
with another goddamn EP.
Let's fucking go.
Yo, we've decided that EPs are a really nice release flow for us
They are.
because like
No, I am excited
it's a
to do
balance
an album
between
again.
y'all. I know
I'm going to be honest with you.
you do want to do an album again.
But they're all, dude, albums are a
It's just
ton of work.
heavy. It's like significantly more work than an EP.
7 songs is still a shitload of work.
But when you go to like 12, come on.
When you get to that 10, 12 threshold, it is a ball breaker for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Like
when
those
you get to like
extra-
song 11, you're like, I don't know.
It's tough.
What
It
else to
really is.
say?
And we work so insanely efficiently,
Yeah.
I think. At least compared to how, the other workflow of like being on a major label was and the sessions and all that stuff was just a very foreign workflow,
Yeah.
to what we have now.
Now that we have full control of the creativity and like when things come out, we're like, can we drop more? Like it's again, humans going too far and then having to dial back and figure out what's the best, what's sustainable for us. And then it's a conversation between pretty much me, Queen Herby, because I'm the one like telling the stories. You're giving us musical stories. And then the audience is also like, wow, Queen, I really resonated with this song or this song or like what's
Self-A&Ring.
blowing up on TikTok. And it's like, cool, I'm going to continue talking about X. So it is a,
And you've again just changed so much since when we first started Queen Herby. That was like, damn, was that going to be 5 years? So that's
y'all,
already,
it's been 5 years.
that's already, you might be a completely different person since when we first started.
Yeah, we're working on like putting the EPs 1 through 9 together in like a cute little box set for you guys.
Yeah, hopefully that's
And I was just reviewing it and I was like, damn, I barely remember who I was and what headspace I was in during this time. Like it's 5 years is a century for artists, I feel like.
it's a whole high school for me.
Yeah. But I'm still really proud of everything and I'm still so excited for what's coming because wow, the character of Queen Herby is so much more matured and well-rounded and I have so much more to say. It's like something's changed.
Something has changed.
And then musically, tell us about the production. Like what's changing? Is anything changed?
So this one is almost a little bit of we're actually mixing the last couple of songs right now and there are, it's always really fun to hear when you get like a good mix engineer, shout out Finnessy. Because it really does elevate what you're trying to do. It makes everything closer, makes everything just elevated, And if people who do your own mixing and mastering too, shout out because that's if not only just like a whole other skill set, it's also having to write and record and do all of the steps of the process yourself and then have to be able to detach from it and listen to it like
I don't know.
Someone hasn't heard it before when you're the one who fucking created it is a very, very, very big challenge.
It is.
And that's like, if you are doing that, acknowledge that so that you take it seriously because it's super challenging.
But I think a lot of kids that are not kids, but artists out there that are just getting started. What I meant by kids was people early in their creative processes. They're not necessarily getting as deep into the details as we are just because we have like 20 years of experience behind us. Yeah. Where things become...
And we enjoy that part of it too.
That's what I was going to say before we started rolling this podcast is like things are going to continue to improve if you just keep going.
Yeah.
Because I am afraid to take time off, but I also am pushing myself all the time so hard. And I think I just realized that I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
It actually kind of hinders and gets in the way of the art.
Surprise.
Yo. You
are such an overpusher.
I'm an overpusher of myself and others.
Uh-huh.
And it's like kind of a waste of your energy, babes.
Totally.
Just saying. That's what I've learned.
Yeah.
To this point. Because who gives a shit if you're mixing your own shit or if you're not mixing it or whatever you've discovered to work for you at this point of your career? Like, it doesn't matter. Just keep going.
Yeah.
That's what we're learning.
No, that's it. That's how you fucking do. It's a earth law. Just keep going.
And surrender things along the way. Like as a lyricist too, like the lyrics I'm writing now, I'm so much more proud of and I have so much of a higher standard for, but I'm also not trying as hard and having more fun with saying crazy shit. Like I love when you pivot within your art constantly. And if you just keep going, you're going to end up in a place where nobody else can go.
this is something we talk about a lot too. Chase the inspiration.
Yeah.
Just chase it.
You really
Whatever.
love clogs? Like, bitch, go. I need you to
Follow
get
it.
every clog. I need you to learn how to carve a clog, bitch.
When you're creating
how do you
and
paint
you're
it?
trying to, and you're blocked or you're trying to come up with some new shit, like just chase the inspiration, chase what makes you happy. It could literally be, and again, this will help. Doing all of these things will help you create as well. If you're conscious, maybe it'll be things that are obvious to other people, but not to you because you just can't see it.
Dude,
Which
that's
is such a pain in the ass.
That's the weirdest thing.
Like rapping for you.
Yeah, I was like, eye roll. I'm not going to rap.
Right. Because it was like, duh, anybody can do this. You didn't think you were good at it.
Yeah, and it wasn't, it was like,
so funny.
Anybody can do this. I really didn't understand the art form at all.
Yeah.
I had people I looked up to and like really loved, but also there was that subconscious fear from having grown up in a Christian household where they were like, oh, that music is like dangerous and naughty.
Sure.
So I was like,
which made you love it,
which secretly made me love it. But then I was like, no, I could never take myself seriously in that way.
Yeah.
But it's now, so that was difficult. And now it's like, well, yeah, I'm a rapper. But I just started like saying that because I also realized that saying I'm a rapper is much more of an engaging and intriguing way to present myself. Right. If I was just like, oh, I'm a spiritual, like, songwriter, and it's just like, no, just say you're a rapper. That's immediately people are like, I need to know more. So you got to find what that is for you and just know you got to get a little more. We're getting more savvy, I feel like, at marketing. I'm just learning all this now. I'm like, oh, damn it. Don't have to try as hard and just give the people what they want.
Yeah. Give them what they want through that lens of being authentically yourself.
Yes.
Because that's the thing that a lot of times you'd be surprised to some of the biggest pop stars in the world. Like
the reason they all end up looking and sounding the same is because they haven't put it through their lens.
That
maybe,
or they just are a little afraid, or who they were authentically, didn't do as well or didn't sell as much, so they did somebody else instead or whatever.
It's a balance then of.
Well, that's fine, but there's a reason too why a lot of people are unhappy. Eventually maybe that's fine for what it is, but maybe eventually that's not a sustainable way to approach it because eventually you're going to hate it because you're like, this isn't me, this isn't who I am. Right?
Right.
So, that's kind of what happened to us a little bit.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I just never looked in my lens. I was too afraid to look at who I was.
So it takes totally. And that's okay. That's also okay. And even if
some of it peeked through, I got the hair and the fashion was always popping for me. Like I was even just telling Alex, like we just shot the EP cover today. And I was like, Alex, I'm still like, not sure if I'm comfortable with really who I am. Like I keep fighting my own instincts and my own intuition on stuff. Yeah. Like we shot some test photos of the EP cover last week and I was just like not happy with it. There wasn't enough color. It wasn't like me. It wasn't giving. And I was like, damn, I really am here still trying to like fit in somehow or, trying to please other people, which we talk about a lot. The people pleaser syndrome is real. But the more I just allow it to all go away and just melt away and just reveal who I am, like the more satisfied I am, the more creative, then you can go down the deep tunnels of your own creativity once you get to that point. So that's a great observation. But then after you're like, oh my God, I'm a campy witch, then you're like, cool. And
great.
And
now what the fuck does that mean?
And make sure not to, explore everything, but then be like, what do people really want you to tell them when you meet them? I'm a rapper. Or like at the party the other day, I did say I'm a campy witch rapper.
Did you really?
That was the appropriate crowd though. And they loved it.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because regardless of what you tell people, what they know you for is that.
True.
I think that's what it is. So it's like for so long, you're like, no, I'm not a rapper. I'm not a rapper. I'm not a rapper. And everyone's like, oh yeah, that fucking that rapper raps. Girl.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like, okay. So like, things like that. You don't know what the public is going to take sometimes.
Yes.
You don't know, dude. Creatives talk about this all the time. They don't know what songs are going to be the big hits. Sometimes you have a feeling.
Terrifies me every EP drop. I'm like, I don't know. We're making a video for this.
I don't know. Like sometimes sometimes they don't know if it's going to work. Sometimes you do, or you have an idea, but something else fucks it up. Some random thing will happen that makes one a hit.
Right.
So you just that's why you gotta make shit and drop it.
Yeah.
Make shit and drop it.
That's it.
Make shit and drop it.
Make shit and drop it.
That's all I have to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, my new project is called The Muse.
Oh, shit.
I had to get myself psyched up. I had to do it. This is how much control I have, y'all. I just go on the website all by myself. A little Queen Herby in her desk.
Jesus Christ. No, we can do a whole,
comes
the
in
first
February.
we could
Upload.
Well, we should make a little video of you like showing.
Well, they don't know the
title or
vibes of the
something.
muse at all. All they got was a picture of a swamp.
Okay.
So they don't know shit.
So
Okay.
February.
Is it February?
I said February.
Okay, so February 1st. Yeah, I mean, if we're still.
No, I didn't say the first.
Oh, sorry.
We can pick it.
Sorry,
February
I did
1st.
not mean that day.
I did not meant February 1st.
I did not meant it.
Nick, did
It is
not
funny.
meant.
What's funny to me is like how precious we are with release dates. Like it even fucking matters. Do you know how much noise there is on the internet? But when I flash like the cover art or something really provocative like that, people will care, you know?
Yeah.
Or if we give them a
So-
snippet of a song or
That's what I'm saying. We'll do all that. I don't know if pre-save links even matter. I think that we slowly started understanding.
I'm
We found
allergic to the word pre-save.
I think we found a way that slowly did make them matter. Because for a while it was like it would just take you to some other link that didn't even. It was like horseshit.
Pre-saves turns out was not a load of horse shit.
Yeah, but maybe now it's not. So we're like, oh well, maybe it's
Maybe
all this
they're-
back end.
It is. It's all the apps
Distributor
and the
things,
platforms,
people.
and they're like, share our link and do this and do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you going to listen to it or not?
I'm linked out.
Yeah. Did we make it? Yes.
I'm linked
Is it
out.
coming out? Great. Are they going to listen to it? I hope so.
I think it's gonna be fucking great.
That's it. Did you change anything about the way you produced these?
No. So a few of these were very old ones that I have been trying to, that were just great, that we just didn't have a way to rework.
Yeah. I will say a couple of them we started one way and then we completely changed the production.
One of them happened 3 times.
Yeah, that hasn't happened for a while.
Yeah.
That was a really cool discovery. And then I was like just pushing you the whole time to like give me like more unique sounds, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I'm excited to dig into that because
that's what it's been for me. And then concept wise, this was a lot for me. This project was a lot about like, because people are like, why are you calling it the muse? And it's like, well, I used to think that the muse was outside of myself. I used to think that it was like in other people or in other situations or like, you know, my muse is Marc Jacobs. Like I really, really look up to Marc Jacobs. And then I think what I realized on this project is that, oh, it's me. Like I am my own muse. And so you're almost like having to slay this new dragon of like, oh no, I'm going to commit to I'm not going to abandon my creative self anymore. I'm going to make my own choices and not worry about what other people want. And you slowly start to discover that you're like, oh, I am like kind of burlesque and I am theater. And like you start accepting these things about yourself and you're like, well, that's been the muse this whole time. It's all rocking off of this inspiration that comes from within. So I did a lot of soul searching on that. And then the toxic relationships and stuff, dealing with those things is really a rich part of this record, I would say.
Absolutely.
Because once you realize that you're your own source, you are the source, there's a bunch of things that are no longer tolerable for you or no longer acceptable, and you have to like cut them out. So we talked a lot about that.
Yeah.
I spoke a lot about that in the lyrics.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. It's going to be a fun one. And it's always going to be curious to see what people's favorites are.
I know.
When it comes out.
Makes you curious. And I'm already excited about the next, like we're going to be giving you so much new music this year. I'm already like writing the next project too.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, it's going to be,
Yeah, we're going to get back in our
it's going to be luscious.
bag this year, I think.
It's going to be
fun.
slutty. 2023 is slutty.
She's a hoe for show.
We should probably do a release party or something.
We should do a release party.
I don't know. Here's us live brainstorming our release strategy.
Well,
we should
We probably should.
on the podcast this week.
Then
Qveen, Herby, and Jedi Nick try to figure out how to promote their own songs.
Everyone realizes like that's why they're not very good at it.
That's why. Yeah. Oh, no wonder. I know. And then I look at like other artists and they're like, their rollouts are either like everything or nothing. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's across the board. Nobody really knows how to promote a record. You got to do what feels right for the song.
It's changed.
For the
This
record.
is what I'm saying. There is no. It's completely. Maybe some of the through lines are the same.
Yeah.
But how you get it to people is completely fucking changed.
It has.
It's a totally different process. So you can't be. And the audience now has shifted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're promoting different types of content on the apps.
But I'll tell you what will happen is if you focus on your niche and you figure out exactly who you are or who you want to be in this moment, it's always going to evolve and change a little bit, but figure it out and literally speak to that, like try to make it as specific as possible.
Yep. And know that the apps are going to change.
Yeah. So during the first season, we were like, everybody go to Facebook, everybody go to Twitter, everybody YouTube, like wherever you want to comment is fine. We love receiving your comments and we love to respond to you on the podcast. So please do say some shit. Our A-OK today, which is our act of kindness. This is a thing we've been doing for a while now. We love our A-OKs. Is from Gracie. My A-OK for the week was last night at a bar. I encountered a girl crying alone in the bathroom because her ex-boyfriend was showboating off his new girl in front of her. Oh
don't
God.
do that.
I just had a sinking feeling in my stomach. I gave her a huge hug, wiped her tears, bought her a drink, introduced her into my party, and waited with her until her Uber got there later. She had a smile ear to ear when she got in the car. We exchanged info, and we are now planning on having a girls' night.
No way.
That is so sweet.
That's great.
See, and Gracie.
That's dope.
Gracie was that in the bathroom. I feel like girls crying in the bathroom is like a whole vibe. But
That's a song.
Gracie was, it's a song. She walked into the thank you, Gracie. She walked in and she was like, oh my God, I'm about to do an act of kindness, because you could have just gone about your night and ignored this, right? You always have a choice.
Yeah.
And you decide, like, if you have enough internal energy to give to others in that way. But when you do it, it can be really life-changing. And I do think that karmically comes back to you, Gracie.
It absolutely does. Of course it does.
That's so cool.
No, that's awesome. I mean, who knows? And maybe you guys hate each other
already.
And you're not friends.
You might
and
not
you
need to be
still
besties.
And you just did that one good thing that one night. Or maybe you end up, becoming lovers and moving to Costa Rica.
And having 4 kids.
I don't know.
You don't know. That's something I've come to realize. Like, I used to put so much pressure on myself. I was like, if I meet someone, they're going to be in my life forever. Like, it doesn't have to be like that.
Totally.
It really doesn't. And everybody's on their own journey. Look, we're all alone at the end of the day trying to be present. Like, it's okay if you don't talk to somebody for a long time. And, certain people you like to spend a lot of time with, and certain people you have amazing time for like 10 minutes every 10 years.
I have a friend once told me people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Wow.
That's the opening line to the song.
That's bars. Okay, Gracie, it's here. It's happening.
People come into your life one season, or what was it?
Reason or time.
Jason.
Oh, it's so good to be back, y'all. We love doing this. We love hanging with you because you always give us so much good energy back too, and we continue to learn with you. I feel like a lot of the comments have been like, oh my God, I'm reading the David Hawkins books and I agree with you, and I've been thinking about the manifestation exercise and I did the Ikigai. Like, this is why we're here, and we will continue to do this for you for as long as you will allow us to. But that being said, welcome back to season 2. We will see you next week. Love y'all.